Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Voles, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeedy. Oh, my. We have another drippy day going on here in Louisville. I know one thing, I'm about tired of it, but you know what? We can't do anything about it. So, anyways, hope everybody's week's going along great for you. It is Friday. Can you all believe it? And it is Truth Bomb Friday. And we got some pretty good truth bombs for you today. Probably going to have more of the. Dang, was that thunder? Oh my God. So, anyways, yeah, that was rocking. To hear him through this headset, man, is crazy because this is a pretty decent little headset we use here. And you normally don't hear anything going along. And it's like it was right outside my ear. Oh, Lordy. So, yeah, there we go. If you had one chance, one opportunity, would you close the door and hide? Yeah, that's what we're doing is closing the door and hiding. My goodness gracious. But anyways, hey, we're going to have a great show today. That's the plan. You guys are going to make it great. So get involved with me as always. Matt with Bam Weather is going to hop on here with us in a little bit. That is the plan. And hopefully they'll still be able to hop on with us with everything we got going weather-wise, in different parts of the country. But looking forward to getting Matt on with us and getting his input on weather, to say the least. So, anyways, it's been a good week here at WLS. We got a lot of good things accomplished. Hope you have too. Yesterday was a good day. We really thought we were going to get a little bit of work in today, man. We had about, I think, 3 little jobs we were going to try to get accomplished today. And, because we're creeping in on the time of the year when we try to get a little bit done on Friday. But, hey, doesn't look like that's going to work out. So that's all right. We had a great week. We're not going to sit and cry about it otherwise. Seth, appreciate you listening this morning, my friend. Absolutely. And it is a good morning to be a duck. Again, for you too, I guess, in your area. So it's just crazy, man. It's unreal. That's what we're just going to go with that for now. We're going to go with the unreal side of things on all this craziness and weather that we got going on. I've got like a million. There used to be a way, used to say clear all, but I guess that's not happening today. You just get to do them all at one time. So that's the way we're going to do that, I guess, right? So that's the way we'll do that. But Seth, hey, I appreciate you being with us today. And I'm sure we're going to have a whole lot more gut people hop on here with us. Looking forward to that. And looking forward to one thing happening is, yeah, true that, Seth. That's a really a good point too, my friend. So we'll see how that all plays out and pans out. But we did, like I said, like I was saying, we did have a good week and got a lot of good things accomplished. A big shout out to our crews again, and each and every one of them from and our subcontractors doing an outstanding job keeping up in all this craziness we got going on weather-wise. It's just crazy. It just I don't know. Here we are, May 16th, and still thinking about rain. I mean, normally we're done with this goofiness of all this rain kind of thing. But I don't know. It'll work out. I know today, and this is just round one for us in this part of the country. Or I shouldn't say country. I'll let Matt define what's going on when he hops on here with us with the weather. But I know just for us specifically, this is round one. Later on tonight, there's between like 7 and midnight, I think, we got another severe round because after this stuff rolls out of here, around 11 or 12, where sun's unfortunately going to come out, they're saying potentially. I'm going to ask Matt for his live update on that. But the reality of it is, we're going to re-energize the system, and they talking about some severe weather for sure. So, or not for sure, but that's the forecast right now. I'm looking right now at my BAM thing they sent me, and from 8 to midnight they got the severe sign up. So we'll see how that pans out. So hopefully that doesn't happen. With any property destruction, because they're talk about potentially large hail and two baseball size hail, for God's sakes. I mean, we're trying to get as many trucks as we can inside today in the shop. So hopefully we can get about 5 of them in here. I think that's our goal, to see if we. That's normally what we can fit in here, is around 5. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 probably. So that's the goal. So that's what we're going to do, and try to protect as much as we can protect. And other than that, that's all we can do. That's all you can do. So think about it. Now, if you got something you want to get potentially new, might be a good time to set something outside. I say that all jokingly, but evidently from my sister's past insurance days, that seems to go on sometimes. So people try to beat the system, I guess, and call it something other than what it is. But don't do that though, for real. But I did reach out yesterday when I heard this BAM forecast, and I was thinking, all right, we got a little bit of, about a half a day tomorrow. I was thinking about escape, and I reached out to my buddies at BAM and asked them about it. So I'll say this: I said, how far south do I have to go to get away from these storms? And they said, oh, probably Birmingham, Alabama. So, and then I actually consider, then it turned into from a weekend escape to, well, heck, if I'm going to Birmingham, I'm going to go on down to, like Orange Beach, Alabama, and spend a few days there, and then come back, maybe next Wednesday or something. Because Kyle's going to be out of town a few days. So, but I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So it would have been fun. Spontaneous trips are fun, no doubt about it. And but we decided to stay. Because Daniel brought up a good point yesterday. He said, we talk about it all the time about hurricanes and how you get all this advance notice on a hurricane, but yet people want to ride it out. And we've had some pretty good advance notice, on this, and hoping nothing happens. And again, Daniel made a really good point here yesterday, saying, well, why hang out and wait for it? I mean, you got no allegiance to the brick and mortar of the home. I mean, none of us wants to see anything tore up. Not saying that, but on the other hand, there's no sense in riding down with it. Speaking of weather, there's our buddy Matt. Let's get him on here. All right, Matt, we're getting you hooked up here, buddy. I think we got you. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Oh, better now that you're on here, man. We're going to throw darts and tomatoes and everything else at you today.
That's fine. I'm gonna dip, dodge, dive, and dodge.
duck, man, duck. It's funny. Yesterday when I was looking at my Clarity app, and I thought, oh my God, and we start talking about it a little bit about, well, dang on, let's just get out of here. So I reached out to you guys. I felt bad about it because I felt like I was wasting y'all's time. But I reached out to the meteorologist and I said, hey, how far south do I have to go to get away from these storms if I want to go hide? And he's like, Birmingham, Alabama would probably be safe.
Yeah. Actually, I do remember out because I was still in the office then, and I remember someone saying like they were laughing about how far south you'd have to go to avoid the storm.
Yeah, well, that was me that texted and got a little bit. And the funny thing about it is, I seriously considered it. Oh my God. But anyway, tell
Going to Birmingham.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was sitting there and I thought, well, hell, if I'm gonna drive from Louisville to Birmingham, I might as well go on to Orange Beach, Alabama and go to the coast for a few days and
Oh,
just
absolutely. Yeah. I
so that
mean, make worth
yeah.
your while.
So then Katie start looking up flights and she says, man, you can fly down to Siesta Key or Sarasota if you want on a Legion for $119. And I'm like, damn, this is sounding better all the time.
Yeah, no kidding. Or did you end up hunkering down in Louisville, I guess?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought, man, I'm not going to do that. As you know, I don't know. I just felt so. We're tied in, man. So tell us about it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's raining off and on crazy here in Louisville today. We just had to fight.
Yeah,
The thunder was crazy.
yeah, it's a pretty nasty
Fuck
little
you.
cluster that's developed into Kentucky. You're kind of on the northern edge of it, so you're basically out of the severe risk, at least for this wave. Obviously, folks further east into Kentucky, Richmond east, I would say near Bowling Green east, still the severe threat is very much still on. Primarily that of wind gusts, maybe some isolated large hail in here. And I think there could be more development in northern Tennessee as well throughout the morning, early afternoon for any of your listeners towards Nashville. And it's especially the southern edge of this little cluster that's developed into Kentucky and Tennessee where there could be a tornado risk. So that would be something to watch. But the fun starts this afternoon, Wayne.
All right.
So I think in terms of Louisville itself, I think there's two different time frames we need to be on alert for. One would be, I'd say, around 6 to 7 p.m. That would be a time frame I'm watching for more of a kind of more isolated, kind of discrete type of cells that form. But any of the cells that do form out ahead of what I would call the main show, certainly these storms are going to be able to rotate. There's going to be tons of instability here. We'll have to see how quickly that instability can build in. These morning storms may screw up the forecast a little bit into southern Indiana and Kentucky. That's kind of yet to be seen here. But regardless, data still indicates a lot of instability building in and very strong wind gusts, very large hail, and some tornadoes would be possible with any of the activity out ahead. And then let's call it the main show moves through Louisville. Right now, I'm thinking closer towards about 8 to 9 p.m. when the main show arrives here. And that area of storms will probably be more of a cluster that swings through tonight. I'm really concerned about that. Not only can it have embedded tornadoes, but I'm concerned about very large hail and wind gusts that could exceed 70 miles per hour. There could be some really nasty wind gusts with these areas of storms that move through the Ohio Valley and the Tennessee Valley today here. As far as
what are
go
the
ahead.
chances of not being a bust? Because I know that's not going to happen. But I mean, what's the chances of this rain that we got going on now across Kentucky, for an example, from Louisville south,
Mhm.
causing enough help, if you will, on some of this?
Yeah,
Or is there just too much recovery time before the actual front rolls through?
so that's going to be the issue. I mentioned 6 to 7 p.m. And there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. I don't think it'll take much for the atmosphere to recover. But we'll see how long the clouds stick around for, how much instability ultimately builds in. There is, I would say, if there's going to be a little bit of more of a bust potential areas, it would be far southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, where some of these rain and storms have just lingered throughout the morning. But I'm not saying bust yet.
Okay, I hear you.
We need
Well,
to
we're
see
going to
as
keep
we
our
get
fingers
out.
crossed.
I mean, I hope it does for you.
Yeah,
Obviously, I don't wish bad storms on anyone.
right.
But given that the time frame is a little bit later tonight, my gut says it'll be pretty tough for this to bust, especially with that main wave. We'll see what type of coverage we'll get out ahead of that main wave, but that wave looks pretty nasty as it rolls through, and not only for Louisville, but areas Indianapolis, Evansville, St. Louis, Paducah, you know, um,
And then
the
does this
boot heel.
just continue on east, or is this going to lose some of its punch as it moves over, toward Virginia, West Virginia, the Carolinas, or, Ohio? What happens with it for our guys over there
Yeah.
listening?
Uh-huh. I think into Ohio, I think it maintains. I'm still concerned about, especially for Ohio, some strong wind gusts. The secondary risk there of tornadoes and very large hail. And I do think it can continue to shift east into, West Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, Eastern Tennessee, and then getting into Western Virginia, Western North Carolina. That's when it starts to lose steam a little bit as it starts to get into the Rockies. But kind of far western portions of the state, again, Western Virginia, Western North Carolina, I think there's still some strong wind gusts with this.
Okay.
By the time it gets into Pennsylvania, it will have lost some of its steam, but I still think some strong storms are certainly at play for some strong wind gusts there. It should continue to lose steam as it pushes towards the Atlantic coast, getting into tomorrow morning. For any of your folks, by say like Washington D.C. or Richmond,
Yeah,
some of
we
those
got
areas.
several listeners. Corey and several others are over that way. Yeah,
Okay,
listen to us.
for those folks getting into the earlier morning hours tomorrow, it won't be anywhere near as robust as it'll be kind of in our neck of the woods. But I wouldn't rule out maybe a severe thunderstorm warning or two in those spots.
Why does
Those
it
would be
seem
kind
to
of
be like? It seems like we not just Louisville, but this region of the country just seems to be in the sweet spot for development out around Arkansas or wherever. And then by
mm-hmm.
the time it gets to Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, it's like full steam ahead, and then it's breaking down. What's causing that? I mean, why does it seem like we've been in the sweet spot so much?
Yeah, and that's a great question. A lot of it boils down to where we have these lows, the low track has set up, and then where there's been a persistent area of more of a higher pressure to our south, and it puts us in the sweet spot where the jet streaks and the jet stream is just kind of pointed towards. And so anywhere where we have a more active jet stream, that lends itself to a more active weather pattern. And it hasn't shifted a whole lot, to be honest. It's been rather stagnant. There's been subtle shift here or there,
Right.
but it's the background state of the atmosphere has just allowed the jet stream to be pointed right at us.
I got you.
And
That was a question we just had texted through. Has the weather pattern shifted east? We got more snow and now heavy rains. So you answered that question before, right as it came through.
Oh, perfect. Yep. Yeah. And I think, getting into next week too, I mean, we're not done with our active weather pattern. I mean, the pattern here is what I would call, classic spring here. In fact, as far as severe weather risk outside of today, which, has quite a high ceiling, we'll need to watch tomorrow afternoon, especially, along the East Coast, down into Dallas world, Texas and to western Arkansas for another round of severe weather there. And that threat kind of gradually ramps up a little bit further north into the Central Plains, getting into Sunday. Probably another round of strong severe storms getting into Monday. We'll need to watch, especially in our neck of the woods. I would say getting into Tuesday, there could be another round of severe weather. There's a lot of
looking right now for us. I mean, I'm being selfish right now, but are we going to be able to get out and do some work Monday?
If you're going to do work on Monday, we'll have to see that there's certainly at this distance some timing differences and issues here. So that'll be something we'll need to battle with. But in my opinion, if you're going to get anything done, it would probably have to be early. I'm concerned getting into the afternoon, there'll be showers and thunderstorms in the area.
Get it done before mid-afternoon.
That would be my suggestion as it stands right now. Tuesday may be a bit of a different story for you. I'm concerned there could be the showers and thunderstorms really throughout the day. Tuesday looks very wet, and then a low moves through the Ohio Valley getting into Wednesday, probably more moisture into Wednesday as well. So you get the idea. A lot of the country is going to be, I think, experiencing a wet pattern here. In fact, I've got right in front of my face on the computer screen right now. I'm looking at this is just strictly a blend of models here. and holy smokes, it is loaded with rain from South Dakota, eastern Nebraska, eastern Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, Ohio Valley, including Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and extending northeast from, let's say, Virginia up into Maine. It's got about every single one of those spots I kind of just mentioned there,
Yeah.
with 1 to 2+ inches of rain. Just kind of alluding to the hyperactive pattern I think we're going to get into.
Just where's the end? I mean, do you guys see the end? Because I know normally by the time we're rolling into Memorial Day weekend here, our turf grass is generally slowing down a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, it's still great and green. It's growing, but it's slowing down just a tad. But I mean, it just don't. There's no way it's going to happen now. I mean,
Yeah, and I think in general, as far as when will things slow down, I don't think kind of the let's call it the May 22nd to 28th time frame. That'd be kind of not this next 7 days, but day 7 to 14. Things will probably be a little bit less active in that period. I'm still concerned things are more active into the U.S. Northeast, so that's going to be let's call it Virginia up towards Maine, where things stay more active. I think things are less active in that time frame. But as we head into early June, our latest outlook has a return of a little bit more of an active period into the eastern Ohio Valley, into the U.S. East, from Tennessee to about western New York here. And then, our June outlook as a whole is rather wet in the eastern Ohio Valley and the southeast U.S. And it starts to get dry out west, out into the plains. I am concerned about drought issues that start to arise out to the plains here. I would say gradually through June, things gradually get more quiet here.
Okay.
But if you're
in the meantime, just keep flippers and snorkels handy.
Yeah, no, I mean no kidding. Yes,
All right.
keep the snorkels handy, the goggles handy, the floaties handy. Get your boats fueled up. It's an active weather pattern, unfortunately, or fortunately. I don't know. Some people want the rain.
Yeah, I mean, this has got to be. I don't know, but I mean, y'all do a lot of ag help, I'm sure too. This got to be killing those guys, isn't it? I mean, not being able to get in the fields and do what they need to do, or they. I mean,
affecting them. Ohio in particular, that's just kind of been where things have been more persistent and consistent. I mean, we're hearing from a lot of people they just can't even get out into the field.
Yeah.
We're having some of those issues too with folks into portions of Indiana, depending on where you're at, in Illinois as well. So it's definitely it's not helping things. That's for sure. On the flip side, there's a lot of areas out west that are in desperate need for rain. Luckily, the northern plains in the Dakotas, they just got a big hit of rain in areas that really needed it. So not everyone's suffering out in the plains, but kind of a split. Eastern U.S. very wet, western U.S. kind of drying out.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing. We're looking forward to seeing some dry weather. So if we can put our wish list together. I mean, if I only get like one more wish, I'm gonna wait till November to put it in for some of the white stuff. But
I was gonna say, I think you used up all 3 of your wishes with that winter.
All right. Well, I'll wait to rub the bottle and get the genie to pop out again and give me another wish. Right.
That's right.
Oh my God. Well, did you get some good sleep last night, man? Because you guys are going to be up a while. It sounds like.
I tried to. I tried to. It's having a kid doesn't help things, but certainly I'm in it for the long haul today. And in fact, Wayne, probably later today, you may see a message come through in the app, and I think this is what we're planning on doing later today. It'll probably be me doing a live stream for clients, just kind of discussing, what I see on the radar, how things can evolve, answering folks' questions, so on and so forth.
Good deal. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking a few minutes this morning to hop on what's going to be such a busy day for you guys, I'm sure. And
absolutely,
as always, I appreciate the input, and we appreciate everything Bam Weather does for us here at Wayne's Lawn Service, for sure. So
Appreciate you, man. Of
stay
course,
safe,
anytime.
man, and look forward to the video today.
Likewise, likewise. Have a good one.
All right, Matt. We'll see you, buddy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Uh-huh.
you. All right. That is Matt Griffin with BAM Weather. If you guys want to check them out, it's bamwx.com. That's bamwx.com. Big shout out to all of our crews, our subcontractors for busting it when we can do it and getting it done and making things happen. But I know one thing that's Matt, telling us it's going to stay wet into, mid June and then, progressively slow down a little bit and across the region. And that's something that we're all, looking forward to, I'm sure. I mean, even you guys that are on, per cut mowings, I mean, we still need a little dry time. I mean, nothing wrong with keeping the grass growing and, keeping our lawnmowers rocking and rolling and that whole thing. But, whew, plenty of rain, plenty of rain. And I don't know, I think, this is kind of off tangent, but lake season, I don't even know if we're going to have a lake season this year because they've already had almost 2 inches of rain today down in Campbellsville where it is we go are creeping in on it. And we can't get the water out that's in. So we'll see how that goes and more rain tonight. And I don't know. I'm in mourning. I'm in mourning. So anyways, Chad, thanks, man, for rescuing the cats and getting our trucks inside and all those things, man. Have a safe trip up to Indiana. So, but anyways, we let's see what we got going here. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see what we got going here. What we want to talk about, good Daniel. So, uh, let's see. Corey said it's the only time he gets to do maintenance is on rain days. Uh, let's see. Rain days and my wife being pissed at me. I hear you, man. I hear you. That's some of it too. That is some of it too. So it is, to get some of it done and try to stay on top of it a little bit. But the reality of it is, we all kind of like the rain days to do a little bit of maintenance. But lordy, I think we've had our fair share of those. So, anyways, I know Daniel, is your door getting done today?
No.
No. Daniel was supposed to get the patio door replaced today, and that might make sense. They can't take an 8 or 10 foot hoe out, you know. So we'll see how that goes. Getting that done for you. So, oh lordy, we we did have a good thing happen yesterday, or this morning actually too. But we found some cats hiding out by underneath our dumpster. Evidently, a cat had decided to have its babies underneath one of our 30-yard dumpsters, that we got there. And the reality of it is, the guy from Best Hill Dumpster came to get our dumpster today and dump it for us, and he noticed, some more under there before he got the dumpster. And I thought it was pretty cool that they said something, but we got him out, or Chad and him got him out. Jay with Best Still Dumpster, I'm gonna give him a shout out. Somebody just paying attention and caring about what they were doing. I thought was pretty cool, Daniel.
Yeah.
The guy didn't just run over him or drag.
Yeah. I mean, that I feel like that should be. It's maybe sad that we live in a world where that's considered a pat on the back instead of just
Normal.
normal.
Yeah, because a lot of people probably would have just went ahead and drug the dumpster up there, not worried about it, and pulled it over the top of them cats. I mean, I'm not a big cat fan, but I wouldn't want them to get smashed like that. So big shout out to Best Still Dumpster guy, man, for Jay was his name. And I'm sure he'll be in to see us when he gets back with our dumpster. So have to give him that a boy on that one. So, but anyways, I wanted to talk something about also perception versus reality on something that happened to me yesterday, and get your all's input on this as well. But I went to get my car washed yesterday, and got fuel and was going to get my car washed on the way home. And when I pulled in to get my car washed, the guy asked me. He said, "Man, do you know it's going to rain tomorrow?" And my perception of that was he didn't feel like he wanted to, be there because of the forecast, and wasn't really into washing cars, if you will. I mean, not that he really was washing the cars, but uh, just getting it done. And but so when I got home, I asked Tabitha about it. I said, I went through the car wash on my way home, and because it just needed to be done inside more than outside is what it amounted to. I know it was going to rain. And she said, "Well," I said, how would you take that?" She said, "Well, I would have thought it was pretty nice, that the guy was just making sure that I knew it was going to rain." And to me, it was we had two different perspectives on it, if you would. One was I thought he was maybe being a little bit sarcastic, and she thought. And then I asked Katie this morning what her perception on it was, and Katie said, "Well, I think he was being nice, just making sure you knew before you spent the money to get your car washed." And it goes back to perception versus reality sometimes, that one statement had two different meanings, I guess. I don't know. How would you have taken that, Daniel?
I guess it depends how he said it.
Professionally, he didn't. It wasn't in a sarcastic. He just said, "Hey, do you know it's going to rain tomorrow?" And that's about how he said it. Do you know it's going to rain tomorrow? And I said, "Yeah, yeah. I just want to roll through and get my car cleaned up." He said, "Okay." And so I don't know. And then after I got Tabitha's perception on it last night and Katie's perception on it today, he probably did mean it in a nice way. And I just thought it was worth talking about a little bit today on, hey, when you're communicating with your customers, just about, maybe say a little more. I don't know. He said, "Hey, because if he'd added a little to it for me, it would have helped." Obviously, they didn't need any help understanding that, because, like I said, he didn't do it in a sarcastic way or with a bad look or.
Well, I think that even goes back to you can't make everybody happy. Like with anything, how you say something, good intentions, you're just somebody out there is going to take it the wrong way or
Yeah.
already be like not maybe you're coming into telling somebody something and they're already having a bad day or something or whatever the situation may be. You can only do what you feel like is right to do or the best thing to do or whatever.
Right.
You can't
Well,
worry about.
Well, like Corey just said, he said you have said to trust the professional, and I mean, probably shouldn't. Maybe it'd been a good. But
I don't think he was saying not to get your car washed. Or
Yeah.
he didn't want you to get it.
Yeah, I don't
that's
either.
at all. I think he was just giving you a warning.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, somebody else could have taken that as, "Oh wow, I can't believe that jerk at the car wash didn't tell me it was going to rain today."
Yeah, that's right. No, that's right. That's the way.
Sometimes you're in a no-win situation. If you try to make everybody
Happy.
the best thing to do is probably get out of trying to make anybody happy because you're not. It's not possible to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know the car wash right down here by us. They used to have what they called a rain day guarantee, where if it rained within 48 hours, if you got in your car washed, if you had your receipt, you could go back through again. Thomas used to do that. And this place doesn't do it. I don't know. Some others may do it. But, yeah, I just it was good perception versus reality. Immediately I thought of Hegibus, actually, that your customer's perception is your reality. Because I had the wrong perception on it, where 66% of the group that heard this thought it was a nice thing to do, and I thought it was. I took it as God didn't want to be there kind of thing, but
Yeah.
but
Well,
that
I mean, if you
probably wasn't it.
look at
Looking
the
back on it,
look at the demographics that you asked too. You're a male. You took it one way. Was it coming from a guy?
yeah,
So you maybe subconsciously thought, this guy's not going to tell me what to do. I'm the man of my life.
yeah,
Maybe as a woman, not necessarily, I'm not, saying all women think like this or all men think like that, but maybe as the woman, they're less likely to have that testosterone filled response of, don't tell me what to do. Oh, thanks for the advice.
yeah, yeah, right. No, that's exactly right. And I mean, we're not going to make more out of it than what it was, but I think it was done with good intent on his end. Looking back on it, I just and that's probably Daniel. That's probably it. It might have been the male thing. I don't know, but I think it was right. It was done with the right intent, and that's what's most important. So I don't know. I just wanted to share that story to get you guys thinking a little bit about that. But something on a note I want to talk about too. Wednesday we talked about the whole shirt thing, and we're not going to reiterate that about, do you wear a shirt? Do you cut your sleeves out? That whole thing. But I also got a text yesterday um, from Stephen, who listens to us, and he was talking about. He said, "Man, I was listening to your show on replay, making some calls, some sales calls, and he was out on his car, and he said that he saw a company out in one of the neighborhoods treating lawns, spraying lawns, and he said they just looked a little bit less than professional. Said the shirt was all faded and ripped, and he said he thought about our conversation. So, that's what we do here on Profit Time is just to try to share ideas and thoughts to just get people thinking about it. And obviously, that particular person wasn't listening to us, but that just did. I mean, that, and this was and this doesn't matter one bit, but I just want to share it with you guys. This was in one of our more affluent neighborhoods where people probably are looking at something like that, you know?
Possibly, but then that goes back to our conversation about don't solicit mowing in their in high dollar neighborhoods because they just want to go after the cheapest one. And that's where everybody goes to
Yeah, that's
start
where
out.
everybody
So
goes to
maybe they don't
go.
care. It's like, oh, I get $36 mowing. I might as well, get what
Yeah.
I get. As long as the mowing's
No,
done right, I don't care what they wear.
yeah. Yeah. As long as long as it gets done, that that's the that's the reality of it too. Let's see what we got here. Mike's got a Mike said, "Do we have a shirt life policy?" I mean, no, not really a shirt life policy. Just
Shirt life. What?
like, hey, what? It's more of like how often do you replace them? But
Oh, a
replace
shirt life. Okay.
replace them when
I was
when
thinking
they
like an
don't look
insurance
professional.
or some kind of, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I got you, Mike. So yeah, just keep it looking decent. Keep it looking professional. You know. How about you, Mike? That'd be a good thing. Shoot it, shoot it your way, and let us know what you do with it. But mow half the grass, wear half the clothes. That's another one of our world famous listeners. So, but Aaron Walls. So, but yeah, I appreciate the input on that yesterday, Stephen. Really, because you see it quite a bit. I mean, uh, let's see what to Daniel's point. People that have the money turn out to look. Yeah, that's true too for the cheapest price sometimes. You know, so it does kind of get into, um, or not does kind of it does relate to the reality of sometimes that is the demographics of the customer. See you, Mr. Dow. So that's true too. Sometimes we do stereotype that clientele. So I don't know if it necessarily And Stephen, I'd be interested too on this, where he said to Daniel's point, people that have the money tend to look for the cheapest price. In some cases,
I think it just depends really, but
yeah,
whenever you're overly solicited with the cheapest price, you're probably more likely to go with them.
you're programmed that that is the market price, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Kyle makes a really good point there. He said he doesn't necessarily think that the consumer goes after the cheapest price. It's the industry that goes after the affluent and gives the perceived value of that's the value of what they're offering.
Yeah.
And you know that's probably a really good answer as well. Um, let's see. Mike says if he tattoos his logo on his shoulders and chest, is that considered a uniform and a shirt? Could be.
I mean, there you go.
There you go.
Another level.
You know, he's branded himself.
Literally.
Yeah. I don't think that's a problem. Kyle, Mike agrees 100% with you. He said so. That's it. But there is some controversy or on that, and you guys can Google it if you want to. But women that are tattooing colors like they're tattooed on their breast,
Okay.
as it were a bathing suit.
Hmm. That just seems like you would never be able to change your bathing suit.
Yeah,
I've
I'll
never
Google
heard
it.
of it, but
Google it. That
Katie's
seriously
never heard
Google
of
it.
it, but
I don't know. Hey, seriously Google it real quick. Yeah, she's going to an incognito thing to do it, but but yeah, I'm trying to think of where it might have been actually who I really think I heard it from was the mayor down at Panama City Beach, Florida, talking about how they're really don't want any longer uh, the spring break college crowd because he said it's nothing but a bunch of little rich kids' parents, renting hotels. They come down here in condos. They come down here, don't know how to act, and then their parents are getting pissed when we arrest them. And he said, you know,
I wonder if that's the representation of the cities once or the individual establishments once.
uh, well, like he said, you know, it's gotten worse and worse and worse over time, you know. So I don't know. And that was just on back during spring break. He said we'd be happy. I forgot what he said they were going to do to try to deter people, not teenage, but that age group from coming down for spring break. Katie said she can't believe that they're really wanting to tell people not to come. I think they're wanting to kind of change the clientele, you know, to open those up to somebody different, you know, to open up that condo or that hotel to somebody like I don't know, let's like Mike for an example that's going to go down there and not be into that. So it goes all back to image and same thing we're talking about, and that's why we're even talking about it this long. It just goes back to image really, and you know what is the image, you know, of it, you know, for you and your company, and how are you going to deal with that image perception that people have about you. Now, I can honestly say though that I don't think anybody's ever called uh uh called in and said, "Hey, you know, we called y'all because y'all were, you know, you look good." We have got calls that have said, "Hey, you know, I saw one of your trucks and your truck looked nice and was clean." You know, so I think that's the target we all have. So, anyways, just my 2 cents worth on it. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up here on Profit Time here today, a few minutes early. got an appointment I'm going to run on here, try to get in between the rain showers. But I did want to touch on the image side and then the perception side a little bit on how, how important that image and perception both can be, quite honestly, for our businesses. So, with that being said, you guys stay safe. Be careful tonight if you're in an area where, or today or anytime, but we got some, the potential for some severe weather later on. So, you guys stay safe, hunker down, and protect what you can protect. And I hope everybody, when we come back on Monday, is good and no damage to anything. So, with that being said, Daniel, hope you get your door done sooner rather than later.
Might be the end of the summer at this rate.
I know y'all been waiting a long time for it. So, anyways, it'll get done. There's always a reason. So, with that being said, you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. Keep Turfs Up Radio on as always. Remember, profit is not the dirty word. See you Monday.